Hey guys, it's ZD here and I am super excited to be going over a video today around your financial thermostat, but understanding why we have a financial thermostat and where does all these programs come from. One of the biggest things that I've realized from working with so many people is people have such an incredibly terrible relationship with money. You know, it's being governed by their parents, it's being governed by their upbringing, it's being governed by society, and most people are so struggling financially, not having any savings, not having any recurring income in their business, and they literally keep spinning the same wheels 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, and you look back and nothing has actually changed. And the reason nothing changes is because everyone has a financial thermostat. Everyone has a programming system inside their mind. We have a ceiling, we have a comfort zone, and we have a floor. I went over this many times before. If you haven't seen my other videos, I'll put some other videos, me going over financial thermostat below. But just really quickly, you have a programming system inside your mind. Let's just say comfortably, hopefully you have more than this, but let's just say your comfort zone is if you have $10,000 in your account. That's the middle floor. Then we have a roof. Let's just say it's $15,000. If you start saving a little bit of money, you get a 5K client, you get your taxes back or something like that, and all of a sudden you go up to $15,000, you'll start feeling comfortable in your body. Your body will start self-sabotaging in a very easy way. It'll start being like, let's go spend money, or I've got money to spend. You'll go on a holiday. You'll do something to get rid of the money because you're hitting your upper limit. And when your upper limit this is the max amount that you believe you deserve to have at a time before you can start spending it. Then all of a sudden you go down to 10K. This is your comfort zone. But let's just say a bill comes up, you invest in coaching, something happens, you go back down to 5K. And 5K is the bare minimum of what you will tolerate. So what will happen? Stress will happen. You'll start actually getting pretty focused. You'll actually undercharge a lot of the times. You'll do whatever it takes to get yourself back up to that comfort zone. I've seen people do crazy things to get themselves back up there. They lower their pricing of the program. They'll do anything to get back to that comfort zone. But here's what's crazy. Because it's a program, and like I always talk about, your programming is 70,000 thoughts. 96% of the day you're sleeping awake, you're unconscious. So you're running this program unconsciously. When I give this awareness to people and a lot of my clients, they start getting like wowed by it because they're like, I have no idea where my financial thermostat is. They have no idea because it's unconscious. And then you actually get them to figure it out, and the first step is give them awareness. That's the first step. It's kind of shocking for people. They start getting rattled from the cage. What am I been doing? And that's a great thing because awareness gives you a responsibility to change. But then we've got to realize, where do you want it to be, which is the second step. And this is the stuff that we go over on day 3 of my virtual event. And I'd highly recommend you come, where we break down where your financial thermostat is. Then we give you a way. And there's a lot of crazy processes that we do, whether it's closed-eye work, writing down to really clear up the blockages and the beliefs that are holding you back from moving forward. Because haven't you realized, if you don't actually work on this stuff, don't think things are going to change, because they're not. I always talk to my clients and say, change is not easy. A lot of people think it's easy. Oh, I'll just go to a seminar, I'll change. No, you have to do the work. You have to show up. And I can promise you, at the event, I'll open the door for you, but you have to walk through it. You have to show up. You have to clear up the stuff that's been holding you back. We go through the 3-step system on how to reinvent your financial thermostat, which I'd highly recommend you come. Every single business owner needs to come to this event to show you where this stuff is, because it'll change your life forever. So we get clear on where you want it to be and how to condition it in. But haven't you ever realized, I've went over this so many times with people, but most people have no idea how to change it. And the first thing we've got to realize is understand why you're there in the first place. Yes, we've got to figure out where you're at, but let's go to second step. Why are you like this? You've got to figure out why you're running these programs. You need to understand it. Because understanding something, you need to understand something to know it in order to change it. And a lot of people don't know why. You've got to figure out, where did these beliefs come from? And there's some really powerful questions that we ask at our event, where we go over, things like, who are you more like, your mother or your father? Around money. Can you think of any significant emotional events around your parents that happened as a child? Because all of these programs from the past would have influenced your mind. Because between 0 and 7, you're in theta brainwaves. What does that mean? Well, you're in a highly suggestible brainwave state. Between 0 and 7, your analytical brain, your alpha and beta brainwave hasn't been developed. What does that mean? You are a sponge. Everything around you that happens will start influencing your mind. Even if your parents didn't talk about money with you growing up, but you would feel scarcity. You would feel what that energy or that state is because you feel what your parents feel. That's why if your parents fight, a lot of the times in front of you, the child is learning how to fight. You know, he's not saying if it's right or wrong. He doesn't think like that. There's no right or wrong. There's no left brain in this. It's like, okay, this is fighting. All of it is a sponge until it develops through 7 years to, this is my identity now. This is my subconscious programming. That's why it's so important to lift up. If you have kids, lift up their money beliefs. You know, not to like talk about money in a very comfortable way. And I know that some of you haven't done that or whatever. Your parents didn't have this awareness at that time and you've got to appreciate where they're at. But in order to change your current circumstance, you have to realize that you're in theta brainwaves as a child and you didn't have any say in this. So don't blame your parents because they didn't show up for you. You just got to say they didn't have the awareness at the time. So it's my responsibility to understand this and then I can change it. And there's so many processes of figuring out what were all the blockages from your parents, the beliefs that you had. You know, what were all the beliefs that you're unconsciously running? Because that's what's going to block you off from going above that ceiling. That ceiling is there for a reason and it's governed. That 15K before, hopefully it's more for you or it might be less for you. But let's just say that 15K is governed by beliefs. It's governed by your upbringing. It's governed by, you might have went through a divorce or something around money happened or you got triggered around money. I don't know. You got sued. Something around money can form beliefs from significant emotional events. And it's your job to understand your money programming and then have the ability to change it. You know, so what I would say, just to give you something on this video right now, figure out what your financial thermostat is first and then start asking yourself some simple questions. You know, who am I more like? Am I more like my mother or am I more like my father? And in what ways? You know, ask yourself these questions. Maybe another one could be, was there a significant emotional event that happened in my life growing up, you know, that influenced my decisions around money? You know, start asking more questions because when all this stuff comes up at our events, we've seen it so many times before, people start sharing all this stuff and it's very, very emotional and they're like, I didn't even think this had to do with money. Then we start clearing it and they have a completely different reality. So it's understanding why you are the way you are. And this is the journey of self-development. This is the journey of personal development, to figure out what are my unconscious programs? What are the things that are holding me back in my life and being able to change it? Because changing it's actually pretty easy once you go to the event and you have that support with accountability. You know, doing it yourself is challenging, but you can still do it. But that's why I say, come to my event. You know, message me right now. You know, put in the comments when the next event is. We'll send you a link. Whatever you need to serve you to get you to the next level. Because one thing that I know, when you have better relationship with money and when you are better with money, your life becomes better. And the reason is we're living in an economic planet right now. You can't run away from money. You know, it's one of the most powerful things that we can have. I'm not saying it makes you happy, but does stress make you happy? Probably not, right? But lack of money equals stress. So look at money from, you know, just being different to it. You're like, it's just money. I've just got to have a good relationship with it, clear up my beliefs around it, don't judge it anymore, and start wanting and start being in alignment, the right vibration with it so it starts attracting to you and clearing up all the blocks that you don't need anymore. This is what my life's work is, and I can promise you your life will change if you come to my event. Or I can even put in the link, I'll put in the link as well, a money meditation that you can start doing every single night as well, which will help your subconscious mind as well. But guys, if you're liking these videos, please comment below, like these videos, share these videos, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. But guys, have an incredible day, understand your process, and I'll talk to you all very soon.